Well, hello, all you beautiful people out there in Minecraft land. How are you today? I am fantastic. Thanks for asking. I am just flying around the end a little bit because I wanted to start this episode off today by doing a little bit of end raiding. Not a lot. I just need a few shulker boxes. So I thought I'd return to some of the end cities that I've already found, including this one. You can see my pillar that went up to where I found my first elytra. In fact, the elytra that I'm wearing right now. And I am just going to go back to those cities and find myself some shulker boxes, shulker shells, so I can make new shulker boxes. So let me do that for a little while.
Moments later.
All right, I collected a few shells, and now I am ready to try that. Uh-oh, no. Nope, okay. Yeah, see, that was close. Almost got murdered by a bunch of Endermen because I looked at them. And that is not something you want to do in the end. I don't remember looking at Enderman, but I obviously was not paying close enough attention. So that's okay. Because here I am, and I just need to get through this gateway without getting murdered. And then everything will be good. Okay, down and Ender Pearl through there. No, I said Ender Pearl through there. There we go. And hopefully I am back on the end island. There we go. The main end island, I should say. And then I could just fly right over here and go in this hole. Sweet. And I'm home, and it's night, and it's raining. And thunderstorm. Wow, haven't seen a thunderstorm in, like, forever. So that trip was mildly successful. Aside from the per blocks and everything, I got 21 shulker shells, which is great. I also found a couple diamonds and some end stone and end rods. I was there for like 10 minutes, not even, so I wasn't really doing anything major. Really, all I was doing was hunting for these guys, shulker shells. And yes, I actually have one left over from the last time I did this, so we'll add that. And now I have 22 shulker shells, which is fantastic. Now I can actually make 11 brand new shulker boxes. So this over here, I am just going to drop right here. Yes, and then that will start filtering through, and all those things will end up probably not at all where they're supposed to end up, but that's okay. I don't think I have filters for any of the end item stuff, but I'm not too worried about it because it's all just going to end up in this overflow chest anyway. What I really wanted to do is make those shulker boxes. So let me grab some chests. I think I need, 11 chests. 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's get rid of these. And then shulker boxes. Yes. Boom. 11 shulker boxes. Super. Super spectacular. Why, you might ask, did I want 11 shulker boxes when I'm basically just going to dump them all in a chest here? Well, because I have a big project to do today. That's kind of what these signs are all about. So, let's take a look at number 1. Make a shield. Oh, yeah. That's actually kind of funny. Take a look at my inventory. I actually brought 6 planks and an iron nugget. I actually had these with me in the end with the express purpose of making a shield. I have actually never in Minecraft before made a shield. And there it is. I now have a shield. Shield! Block my face. Nope, you can't get me. Can't get me! I was supposed to bring this to the end with me so that I could block shulkers from hitting me with their stupid levitation pellets. And I completely forgot to do it until right now when I'm back from the end. That's kind of funny. Yeah. So let's get rid of that. What else is there? End rating. Hey, I did that. That's great. Grabbed myself some shulker boxes. Castle banner. Yeah, that's what all this was leading to. So basically, I had this idea, between episodes, I guess that idea was, that I need a banner for this castle, maybe even a name for this castle. So if you guys have any ideas for what I could name my castle, or perhaps what kind of symbol I should put on my banner, let me know. Because then I could put banners all over the castle, decorate the castle, and also, of course, put that banner on my brand new shield, just like I'm holding. So that's something right there. Also, I wanted to update this board a little bit. So I still have finished the castle up there, but as I just mentioned, I kind of want to put a castle banner on this list just so I don't forget about it, because that's probably what's going to happen. I'm going to hit castle banner, or I'm going to say it, and then I'm going to forget completely about it. So banner. Wood farm, stone farm, done. Did that last episode, and it's working fantastically, so I don't need that anymore. Still got cactus farm, dyes, and flower farm on my list. I've been getting a lot of dyes from wandering traders, which is kind of weird, and I have like massive amounts of emeralds to spare, so I'm not really too concerned about emeralds. But yeah, the wandering traders are good for some things. Cocoa beans and netherwort farm. Well, I already did the cocoa bean farm, but I should probably put down netherwort farm. And that's because at some point in the future, and not necessarily the near future, but maybe the far future, potions. I want to create automated stations for a lot of different kinds of potions, because it would be really great if I had, invisibility potions, maybe water breathing potions, maybe night vision potions, things like that. Just all kinds of potions that I could have kicking around that I could use for various in sundry things. Also, and I don't know where I should put this, maybe up here. And again, this is just kind of one of those weird ideas. When I was walking around, I happened to see that I've got a lot of sheep. So maybe do a wool farm? Maybe 16 wool farms? One for each of the individual colors of wool I could get from a wool farm. And that would probably end up being one big wool farm that has 16 modules that each have one sheep in them, for instance, and then each one would generate its own color of wool. So I would need each of the 16 colors of dye before I could do that. So maybe dye farm, but I think I actually might even have those, or if I don't have them all, I'm sure I could get them between now and the time when I actually decide to build the wool farm. Right now, I don't actually have a purpose for wool. It's one of those things that's kind of useful for a lot of things when you have the need for those things, but I don't really have a need for them yet. But I have the sheep, and so I thought, well, why not just, make the farm in anticipation of when I might need it. Something else like the potions, for instance, automatic potions. I do have some ideas brewing. Sorry for the pun there, because, I'm so clever. Some ideas brewing for what I could use those potions for. But again, that's just one of those things. But neither of those things are the big project that I want to focus on today. So the idea that I had for today was to build another one of these towers. But not just a tower, not just a big empty tower. The tower that I want to build has a very specific purpose. And it all stems from what is kind of behind me and over my head right there, which is the entrance to my mine. I have a bit of a dilemma. When I am digging around in the mine, I tend to fill up shulker boxes very fast because I'm beacon mining and all that stuff. And then I run out of shulker boxes, and I have to pack them into my inventory, and I have to fly back, and I have to unload those shulker boxes, and then I have to come all the way back to the mine and keep digging. And I thought to myself, it would be really convenient if I had some sort of way to load up shulker boxes and then send them along like a minecart rail or something to a place where they would end up in not necessarily my storage system, but in a place that would unload the shulker boxes automatically. And all of the resources would then go into my storage system. But the shulker boxes would then be returned to me, ready to fill again. And so I played around in creative a little bit, and I designed a machine, and I am going to build that right now. So hit that time lapse. time lapse. Awesome. So, I still got a little bit of work to do here, just sort of filling in some of this grass. But I do want to do a sort of full-scale test of this system. Well, at least a small-scale test of this system. So what I have here is 4 shulker boxes, and they all have a little bit of stuff in them. Not, nothing crazy. And the whole idea is that, let's say I was mining, and obviously this minecart rail wouldn't be here. This minecart rail, the other end of it would be all the way down in a mine somewhere. But it would have this hopper minecart sitting on it. And I could come along and drop all of my shulker boxes into that hopper minecart, up to 5, which I think should be plenty, especially since, I'll show you the way this thing works, and then you'll get the idea. So, before I actually push this button and give it an actual test, I do want to just kind of walk you through what's going to happen here. This hopper minecart is going to come along this rail, and you can see that it turns. And so it'll come this way. It'll go over this activator rail, but it won't actually do anything because that activator rail is actually tied to that little thing right there. So that will actually flip the other way just for a short amount of time. But on this pass, this direction, it doesn't do anything. So the minecart comes along here. It goes up, 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 up. And then it ends up crossing over all of these hoppers. Just in the fact that it crosses these hoppers and then hits this rail and bounces back, it will drop off all of the shulker boxes that are in the hopper minecart. Each one of these will pick up 1, and because there's 4 here, it would pick up 4 on the pass back, and then, well, technically another 4 on the way back, but the hopper minecart can only hold 5 total, so it'll pick up all 5. So I actually have too many hoppers there, but it doesn't really matter. It's all good. The hopper minecart then is empty, and it will come all the way down here. It'll again hit this activator rail, which will flip this, and now it'll come this way, and it'll just bounce off of this spot right here, and then it will continue going. But while it is here, for a very short time, it has just enough time to pick up 5 items from inside this chest. Now, right now, there's nothing inside this chest, but once the system actually gets engaged, there will be 5 shulker boxes in this chest, or up to 5 shulker boxes in this chest. And the hopper minecart comes along and has just enough time as it bounces here to pick up those 5 shulker boxes, empty shulker boxes, and bring them back this way. So we'll end up with a hopper minecart at the end that has 5 empty shulker boxes. But that's not all. What happens to the shulker boxes that go up into that? So remember, these guys are actually full of items, presumably full of materials that I've been mining. And this will go into this chest right here, and then down into this hopper, and then across into this dropper. And there's a circuit out back here, this redstone circuit. And I can't remember who designed this circuit, but I will put their name on the screen right now. Yes, this glorious person designed this circuit. I actually found it on Shulkercraft's channel, but I know they had copied the design from somebody else, and that's who is on the screen right now. Anyway, this is a shulker box unloader. So the whole idea is that the shulker box will be dispensed by this dispenser into this spot right here, and you can see there's a hopper under it which feeds into this chest. All of the materials that were in that shulker box will then feed into this chest all the way until the shulker box is empty. This stone right here has a comparator on the other side of it right here, checking to see if the shulker box that's in place is empty. And once it's empty, this piston will fire. It will hit against this scaffolding and do this wonderful trick where it drops the empty shulker box, but it doesn't drop into this chest, it drops into this one. And that's why this chest will fill up with empty shulker boxes, but all of the materials will end up in this chest right here. But this chest feeds down into another hopper and down into another dropper, and what you can't really see under the floor here is that there's an auto dropper circuit underneath here. So basically, if I were to take some items, let's just say I drop these 2 spruce planks. You heard those 2 clicks? So basically what that was were those 2 planks being shot down into an underground water stream, and guess where that goes? That's right, it goes all the way back to my storage system. So the whole idea here, hopefully it should be clear exactly what's going to happen here. I will load up all of these shulker boxes into this hopper and fire it off. They will then be delivered, and let's just see if we can watch this happen. Yep, there they go. They're going to start to be dispensed. So this hopper, the first time I send it, will have nothing remaining in it because there weren't any empty shulker boxes here to collect. But what's nice is that this is now back down in the mine and it's empty. It's ready for me to fill up with more shulker boxes. And if I just come along here, so this is actually going to take a little bit of time. But this shulker box is draining. The other 3 shulker boxes are in this dispenser, ready to drain as well. All of the materials that were in this shulker box are draining out and going into the auto dropper. So all that's feeding into my main storage system. And pretty soon, this shulker will be broken because it'll be empty. There we go. So the empty shulker ends up in this box, and all the materials end up in this chest, and this will just continue until all of the shulker boxes are unloaded, and then the empty shulker boxes stay in here and the materials are all in my storage system. The real magic, of course, is going to happen when I come back to this hopper minecart after a mining session and I fill it up with full shulker boxes once again. I'm just going to put one in there to simulate this. But remember, all those empty shulker boxes are still sitting in that chest up there. So when I push this button, this one will go over. It should drop all of the full shulker boxes in to get emptied into my storage system and return with all of the empty shulker boxes that were in the system before, all ready to be used for mining once again. So this is a very good and very useful system, and hopefully it actually works for me the way I want it to.
Eventually.
Well, hello. It has been a couple days since I recorded the last clip. And as you can see, I've got a few more holes in the ground because I built yet another addition to this minecart circuit. And I wanted to kind of walk you through the entire thing just so you can now see exactly what this is all about. So this rail line right here, as you may suspect, goes all the way down into the mine. And I'm just going to sort of jump down here and I'm going to pretend to be a minecart coming back from a mining trip with a whole boatload of goodies. And we're going to come over here and we're going to get to this area right here where we have this sort of little turny track. There's a whole circuit hidden over here, but all we see is a little turny track, and we're going to turn and we're going to go zigzag and then off to the tower. We're going to unload our goodies. We're going to come back down this same track, and again, we see the little turny bit. We turn and we go back to the mine. So you're probably saying to yourself, well, if this little circuit bit doesn't really do anything for mine carts that are coming back from the mine, what's it for? And the answer is this guy right over here. So here I have a mine cart that is designed to unload shulker boxes from my storage system. And the reason why is because when I do a project, I usually fill up shulker boxes with stuff. I usually have like 4 or 5 shulker boxes, you know, just loaded up with goodies and whatever. And when I am done with my goodies, I have to then break my shulker boxes. And then I know you guys have seen me do this on video, where I come over here to this little hopper here, and I grab a shulker box and I drop it down on top of this hopper. I flip this lever, and then, this material starts going down here. But what happens when I have, 3 or 4 shulker boxes in my inventory? Typically, I just kind of pile them up here and wait until this one's done, and then I come back later and I take care of this one too. Well, that is just too slow for me. So what I did is I added this guy right here, and the whole idea is I'm going to just load up all of my shulker boxes in here, and I'm going to push this button. Now, watch this. I'm going to, again, pretend to be a minecart here. So I come along, I go down this ramp, I come across, I go over this detector rail. I think in the last clip, I called this an activator rail. It's actually a detector rail, so it detects when a minecart passes over it, fires off a redstone signal, and this observer then sees that. This observer is going to pass the signal back to this repeater, into this block, and then into this repeater. Underneath this block is a sticky piston, which pushes the block up in the air. And I know I talked about this circuit when I did my cocoa bean farm a couple episodes ago. This then turns what is this short pulse into a 1-tick pulse, which is going to come out here, hit this sticky piston. And the reason I need a 1-tick pulse is because that pulse is just long enough for the piston to jump out and come right back again, but in doing so, it'll grab this block with it and keep it. That will depower this line, which will turn this rail so that it's facing this way. It'll be like a curve this way. Now, this all happens so fast. Remember, a minecart is coming down here, it activates this, the whole circuit goes off, and that little rail turns. And so the minecart will go this way. Now the neat thing is, this change is semi-permanent. I say semi-permanent because basically it's a permanent change unless there's another update to the circuit. And guess what's going to happen? Because the rail is then curving this way, when the shulker box gets unloaded, the minecart gets unloaded, it comes back down this rail. The minecart rail is still turned this way, so it's going to turn, go back over this rail, and then back up into place. And when it does go back over this rail, of course, it's going to trigger the circuit again, which is going to put it back into this configuration, ready for the next minecart from either the mine or the storage system over here. So basically, what this little circuit down here accomplishes is no matter where a minecart comes from, it will always go, unload, and then come back to the same place that it came from, which is pretty cool. And this will all be buried underground. I'm going to put the grass back so that you won't even see any of this stuff when it's all done. But I left it exposed just in case I have any problems. So it's time for a test. I loaded up all of these shulker boxes into this minecart, this hopper minecart, and please pay attention. These are white shulker boxes. I'm going to push this button and send this guy over, and you should see, yep, see, it turned. The rail stayed, and that minecart is now headed in that direction, and we should be able to see it. Yeah, we can just kind of see it unloading. It's unloading all 5 of the white shulker boxes. It's now picking up any empty shulker boxes that were there, and it's coming back. And we should see it come all the way down this rail. There it is. It trips over that thing again, resets this line, it goes back up into place, and it is now ready to be sent again. But what is in the box? Is it white shulker boxes? Actually, no. It's gray shulker boxes, empty gray shulker boxes, and these were the boxes that I would then use for the next project. Okay, time for one last test. Gotta do it. This is the full-scale test now. You can see behind me that I have the minecart rail running all the way down into my mine. There's my new minecart, and here are my 5 shulker boxes. So we break our 5 shulker boxes, make sure we picked them all up, go over to our minecart, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we launch. And up it goes. Now, hypothetically, we could continue to mine, we could do whatever we wanted down here, and all we're doing is basically sitting back and waiting for shulker boxes to return. You got to remember that the shulker boxes that went away were dark gray. So if all goes according to plan, those shulker boxes should be dropped off in the system, the dark gray ones, and start unloading. And then at the same time, the white ones, which I sent in the previous test, should already be unloaded and should now return down here. So what we should end up with, hopefully in about a minute and a half, is a minecart with 5 white empty shulker boxes. And here comes the cart into place, and 5 empty white shulker boxes ready for mining. And that, my friends, is where I am going to end this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed watching me build this rail system and the shulker box unloader in the tower. And yes, I did, by the way, bury that line, so you can't actually see it. It goes underground all the way back to my main tower. So thank you guys very much for joining me in this episode, and I hope to see you again in the next one. Have a good one. Bye-bye.